Alrighty guys, so as you can see here, we are on the home page. Every day you'll get to this page, see that funny meme. You can watch this video again if you want to, or if you hadn't done it on Monday, August 10th yet. Here's the bell schedule that you'll be following. So depending on the class period that you're in, these are times that you'll need to log into the big blue button sessions. You'll see today we have a syllabus and syllabus quiz. In order to access the syllabus, you can either go here to syllabus, or you can just click on the syllabus link down here. Alright, so it brings us to the syllabus page. So I just want to go over this just a little bit. So like I said, this is English for College Prep. If this is not the right class for you, if you should be in AP English or whatever like that, let me know. I'll give you this form for you to get out of my class and contact with your guidance counselor. But this will be the syllabus. So you see my contact information. I'm in 1204, so if you're launch ed, you should never really come to campus unless you need tech help by making an appointment with the front office. But for my kids, whatever, I just have it on there. So this is my name, Miss Lona Wynn. This is my email. This is the best way to get in contact with me. I will see this. There'll also be Remind, which we'll set up later in the week. That and this will be the best ways to get in contact with me during the class period, other than Big Blue Button. This is a way that you can get in contact with me outside as well. This is the email where I'm going to send your parents emails, and the only reason I'm sending an email to your parent is for them to know what you're doing this week, but I don't expect much communication back and forth. This is my phone number and my extension if you need to call me. But again, if I'm in class and I'm helping you guys on the Big Blue Button and I'm helping face-to-face kids, I may not have time to sit on the phone, but it's whatever way works best for you. I want to make sure that you are getting the support that you need. So this year we're going to be really focusing on practicing fundamental reading skills. Some of you guys may have not passed an English section that you need for graduation. Some of you guys may have, but you're kind of borderline, not really having the biggest skills. So we're going to be practicing those skills while not really pounding it into your head. This year is just we're going to read some stuff, read some news articles, and we're going to be looking at texts that really empower students of all cultures and backgrounds and looking at different things. One thing I don't like about traditional education is that we really focus on the textbooks and we don't actually learn about real, true history. We don't look at accounts from different sides. So we'll be reading all that kind of stuff. We're not really focusing on Shakespeare and those traditionally boring texts this year. I want to focus on really hard-hitting stuff. In this course, you will cite strong and thorough textual evidence. That just means that anytime you tell me that, hey, I know this from the text, tell me where. Participate in collaborative discussions. So sometimes in class we'll have a discussion board or a Padlet where you'll get into and discuss something and work in projects. Write objective summaries. So sometimes I'll ask you hey, read this and then write me a few sentences about what it's about. Objective just means that it has no opinions in it and you're just telling me this is what the text is talking about. They use this to support their evidence, all that kind of stuff. We'll learn about all this throughout the year. You're going to be producing writing appropriate to tasks and purposes. That just means I don't want no LOL, JK. You'll never believe the kind of emails that I get for turning in assignments. They'll say, LOL, my B miss. I don't want any of that. You guys are 12th graders and heading into the real world. You're not texting me. We'll learn about the difference between text talk and real talk. You're going to be analyzing character development as we read the stories. We're going to be reading text closely and independently, so we're not doing popcorn style reading or anything like that. I kind of really want to focus on the skills of how you guys can read things quickly and effectively. And then examine strengths and standard-based assessment. So I will be looking at your test scores from the year past, seeing what you guys are struggling in. I'll be able to tell that throughout the year in the small little test that we'll have. But going into the next section, assignments and grading, we will have some tests once every week, 2 weeks. It's 5-6 questions. But I want you to look at how this is. Most of your grade will be on your participation, effort, and classwork. So this is the stuff that you turn in on a daily basis. I don't need it to be perfect, but I need to see that you're trying and putting an effort. A lot of the stuff that we're doing, and we'll get into this in the next few days with procedures and expectations, your work is really, you choose what you submit to me. There is no checkbox here we go, I'm going to do the bare minimum to turn it in. I'm not going to tell you what the bare minimum is. So when you turn in things or I see you working every day, if you're putting in the effort and you're talking to me and you're asking questions and you turn in something that's not perfect but you tried, you'll get a good grade for it. When we do have those tests, it makes up such a small percentage of your grade. Now it'll be out of points, but you'll see that your usual classwork grades are worth way more than your assessments. So I want you to be able to go into the test knowing this is just a way for my teacher to see where I'm at, but I'm really needing to focus on my classwork and the effort that I put in. So if you're a type of person that doesn't do classwork and just tries to bet on taking good tests, then no. This is really good for students who are not good with testing because I'm not focused on that. Try your best on the test. It tells me what you're struggling on, and it allows me to make assignments that'll help you better. Like it says down here, your grade will be based on your effort, creativity, and participation in class discussions and activities. That'll be the bulk of the class. Sometimes it'll be a research project, sometimes it'll be an art project. Whatever I give you, I'm looking more for, did you participate, did you try, or did you just work on it in the last 5 minutes and try to turn it in? That'll be how I grade stuff with you guys. Expectations. I expect you guys to be respectful of yourself, be respectful of one another, be respectful of the stuff in class, be respectful of me, respectful. And that's one of the biggest expectations. Be responsible. I give you the grade, but I'm really grading on what you put into it. So if you're not responsible and you're turning it in late, you're not doing it at all, you're not communicating with me, then you're not being responsible. And then being successful, if you're respectful and responsible and you do your work and you realize that what you get is a product of what you put in, you'll be successful. If you don't put in any effort, then you're not going to do well. What we'll accomplish, we'll have a great time learning how to access text on a deeper level, strengthen writing skills, delve into the world of literature, use high-level thinking skills and approaches, all the while appreciating what it means to be a part of this program. When I say I can't wait to get started, I can't wait. This may be a very different English class than you've had in the past. I'm focusing on you as people and making sure that when you leave public school in a few months that you are ready for it. I know that when I left school, I was not really ready for the real world. Some of you guys may not be going to college. Some of you guys may be going to college, and I'm here to make sure you are ready come May when you graduate, that you know what the next steps are, because there's no more summer. There's no more waiting for someone to send me an email to tell me what to do. You make all your decisions, and I'm trying to help you get through that, and we'll be reading stuff along the way. So here are some policies that I have. So when it comes to being responsible, there's a late and makeup work policy. So work is your responsibility. Part of your grade for all your assignments will be your effort into ensuring that you're submitting assignments in time. I do accept late work, but that will be put into your grade. And every time you turn in a late work, you will have to have a video chat, one-on-one talk with me about why is this late? What happened? I'm not going to penalize you for it. It's just going to be like, hey, why is this late? And you can tell me like, I just got busy with other classes. I forgot to do it, something like that. But that conversation will help me understand why it's being late. And you can be honest with me. You could just say, you know what? My other class had this stuff and I just didn't care about your work. Okay, so what can we do better next time? Because if you're continuously late, you have to continuously have meetings with me. Otherwise, I don't accept the late work at all. And if it's over and over and over again and we see it to be an issue, me and you can either work on it, or I'll have to kind of talk to your parents and see if they can also help get you maybe focused or get you more on task. But we'll work through some stuff. Again, I'm trying to get you ready for the real world, and you're going to hear that a lot. But in the real world, you don't get to be late on certain things. You don't get to be late to go to work without having to tell someone why you're late, or maybe have some repercussions for it. So those conversations are important. If you're absent, so if you're a lunch ed student and you don't show up to class, or you're sick and you can't get on your laptop, then just remember that you need to communicate with me and your other teachers, and just make sure that you are getting up with the work. So we will have we will have email. You can log into a chat the next day and say, hey, I was sick yesterday, or I had work or something like that. I couldn't get onto class. What did I miss? And we can have that conversation about it. But if you don't communicate with me, then you're just absent. And after a few absences, I'll have to just tell your parent, like, hey, your kid's not showing up to class. They're not logging into Big Blue Button. They're not completing any work. They're not emailing me. What's going on? So with the technology in this class, we'll be utilizing various resources to access the internet to research, review material, and submit assignments. You have to hold yourself to high expectations. So on the Big Blue Button chats, I don't want to see you in your little nightgowns, or I've been on a video chat with a kid who thought it was appropriate to have his shirt off, and that's not appropriate because I'm an adult and you're a kid, and I don't want to see that. So just make sure I don't need you in a tuxedo, but you should be well dressed. Better than just like shirtless. I have very low expectations. Just don't be shirtless and stuff like that, and you'll be good. Um, so just make sure if we're doing a chat, if we're doing a discussion board, any inappropriate language or anything like that can get you facing academic discipline, and you don't want to do that. This should be a pretty simple year for your 12th grade year. We'll really just be using Canvas, which is where you're seeing this. We'll be using Google Docs to submit some of the assignments. Sometimes we'll be using Google Slides, Edpuzzle, stuff like that. Remind, where you'll see the code right there by texting the @ all yeah 2020 to 81010. And then we'll also be using email. So I'll communicate with you through email. I'll communicate with you through Big Blue Button on Canvas. I'll communicate with you through Remind. But communication is a huge thing with me. I can work with you with every situation, but I don't know the situations unless you let me know. Academic dishonesty. This is plagiarism. I don't do that. I don't. You get an automatic 0. You get academic discipline, and your parent gets told that you cheated. If you plagiarize off of another student, and I will be able to know, that student also gets a 0, because I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out who copied off of who did what when. So if you copy from another student, it could just be 3 sentences out of the whole thing. You and that student will get a 0. I am not expecting you to be perfect. Please don't expect yourself to be perfect or your work to be perfect. I want to see your products. So if you try to use someone else's, it's not going to be worth it. Trust me. And when you get to college, it's really not going to be worth it. Or when you get to the real world, it's not going to be worth it. So just make sure you are not copying things from the internet. You're not copying things from someone else. You'll kind of see when I talk about policies and expectations tomorrow that you don't need to. You can really work with what you're strong in, and you can turn in what you're strong with. You don't have to follow X, Y, and Z and try to be perfect with that. So let's just make sure we're not copying, we're being honest with it. Even if you feel like you're not going to be able to complete the assignment on time and you try to copy, don't do that. Just message me and say, hey, miss, I've been stressed out. I had this, and this, and I apologize, but can I turn in the work a day or two late? Yeah, completely. Don't copy because you feel like you don't have enough time. Like, let's go. Or if it's hard, just let me know. Like, we can work through pretty much anything, but you need to communicate with me. So some other policies. Come to class with your materials. Now, most of you guys, your materials is just your laptop. But just make sure you come into class ready to go, ready to learn. Don't be coming into the chat or the Big Blue Button with a pout on your face, trying to, like, be upset. No matter what happens, you can talk to me, but don't be disrespectful and stuff. Be respectful to yourself and to others. Your grade in this class is a reflection of your effort, not your perfection. You'll see what I mean tomorrow with expectations. Open communication with me and with your peers is expected, so we will have collaborations. We will have time where you're working in projects. I don't really like the whole video chat stuff because that can go along a different way, but that will be available for you. You'll have discussion boards sometimes. You'll have Padlets where you're working with one another. There'll be times where you have to communicate with your peers, and that you need to do that. You can't just go, I'm not going to talk to anyone else. Screw that, and then get a good grade. It depends on what's being required of you, and you'll see that throughout the year. And then the end goal of this class is for me to help facilitate your growth as an individual and to empower you to be as prepared as possible for life after graduation. So the topics that we talk about will be real topics. I will have certain people come in and talk to you guys about different career paths, different things that you want to do, because college isn't always the answer for many people. I know a ton of people who make way more than I do, and they never step foot in, like, college, and that is totally okay. So I want to make sure that I'm helping you guys grow as people, grow skills that you need. So I'm completely here for you. And yeah, that's really just what it is. After watching this video today, or after going through the syllabus yourself, you'll have a small syllabus quiz to complete on Canvas. It's pretty easy. It's based completely off of the syllabus, just to make sure you understand a few main important things. But yeah, look forward to you guys.